Hello and welcome back to SLE Equipment here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we're doing the instructional video on this 8.5 by 16 foot concession trailer. This was one of our stock units. We've built it out with equipment. So let's take a look at it. Of course, you can see white with silver trim. Up front here, we have the generator platform on the front tongue to mount a generator there. And then so the power cord is going to plug in over here real quick. Before plugging in your power cord, please make sure that whatever power source you're using, whether it's generator or shore power, please make sure that is turned off. This is a 240 volt system. Rather be safe than sorry here, okay? So when we plug in our power cord, we're simply going to come here, flip this up, line up the cord as you see there, and then twist it to the right. Once you twist it over, this collar here, we're just going to tighten that down, make sure that's good and snug. That way you have a good secure connection, and then plug the other end into your power source. For today's purposes, we are running off of our supplied shore power. If you have a generator, you plug into that, and then at that point turn on your power source. All right, we'll take a walk around the trailer, just kind of look at the features of it. Up first here on the front V-nose, we have the 36 by 36 access door to the V-nose. Look inside here, have the 30-gallon freshwater tank. Over here we have a 2.5-gallon water heater. And then on the wall back there behind the water heater, we have the water pump. Down here you can see the supply lines. So this back one is the main supply line for the water. This one here is your drain line. A couple of differences here. You can see this valve is in line with that line. That means that valve is open. This one is running, it's not in line, so it is closed. So you'd simply turn that in line to open up the drain and drain the contents of the freshwater tank. This line here is your blowout. When the truck purchase is made of the trailer, then at that point we'll send you a winterization video showing you how to winterize it. You're going to utilize this blowout here simply by connecting an air hose to it to accomplish that. All right, so we have the power cord for the unit here inside the V-nose. Up here we have the electric panel. Next to that on the right is the inverter box. So that inverter box is hooked up to the electric panel. Anytime the trailer is hooked to a power source, that inverter box is going to charge the battery. Good indicator it's working is that little green light right there. Below that we have the fuse panel for the 12 volt system. Those fuses are going to go to the internal or interior and exterior LED lights, and then the 12 volt water pump. And then below the electric panel we have the 12 volt battery. Again, that's being charged by the inverter there anytime that you're hooked up to a power source. And this one has a light inside, so when you're hooked up to a power source, that light is on as well. Has a little switch here, you can turn it off, turn it back on. All right, rubber coin flooring throughout the V-nose there as well. All right, back off here, we'll get a look at the side here. All right, first thing we're going to talk about down the side is the water access panel. So with the water access panel, simply going to put your key in, unlock it. If you're filling the freshwater tank, you're going to do it from right here. Unscrew the cap, insert your hose here, fill it. Once your tank is full, remove your hose, replace your cap. Pretty simple stuff there. And then on this one, this is the pressurized side. So just pull that cap off. You have the filter here, and this is a common garden hose filter. You connect to that with a hose and you bypass the freshwater tank, and it supplies water directly to the water heater and the faucets. All right, and this key will be inside the unit hanging around the faucet whenever it is purchased. All right, down here we have the waste tank drain. So you can remove this cap. This is a common water hose fitting, or you can remove this cap. This is a 3-inch hose. You can purchase that 3-inch hose at any RV and camper supply center. Remove the cap, connect your hose. Once the hose is connected, pull this lever out to the side, allow the contents of the waste tank to drain. Once that's complete, slide this handle back in to the position you see it there. Remove your hose and replace your cap. Pretty simple stuff there. All right, moving on around, here we have two 3,500-pound axles. One thing I want to note on these, right in the center here, you see this rubber cap. Behind that is a grease fitting. So if you remove that cap, you can get access to that grease fitting. Once every 10,000 miles or 12 months, whichever comes first, you'll need to take your grease gun, connect to that grease fitting, and lube that joint there. That keeps the bearings and the hubs in proper working condition. So just extends the life of them. So that way you can save some money and maintain your trailer working properly. All right. Come on around to the back of the trailer here. You see the two propane cages with 100-pound propane tanks. Those tanks do come empty, so when the unit is purchased, you will need to have those filled by a licensed, authorized dealer who knows what they're doing. If they were to overfill those tanks, it could potentially damage your regulator or the valves on the tanks themselves. A 100-pound propane tank holds approximately 23 gallons of propane, so just good information to have there. In the center there, you can see the 36 by 78 entry door, LED light above, and then up here on the top corner, the license plate holder. We'll come back to the gas here in just a few minutes when we talk about the gas on this unit here. All right, here's a shot of the side of the unit. You can see that there. So as you see, this does have a 4-foot wide concession window. It's 3 foot tall. Has a flip-up counter as well. I'll flip that up in a moment and show you that. LED lights on either side of the concession window, and it's a horizontal slide. So the window slides side to side, and then there is a screen in here that you can have open or have shut when you have and leaving the window open. All right, and then on the flip-up counter, just flip that in place there, and then come down here to lower it, push in one latch, push in the second latch. Well, this one didn't depress completely. There we go. Pretty simple operation overall with the flip-up counter there. And then again, on both wheels here, so each wheel has that grease fitting in it, so you will need to grease 4 fittings there whenever you do the grease fittings. 36 by 78 inch standard entry door here as well, and then back around to the V. So let's talk about the gas. So first thing you want to do is make sure you have an open window. Your concession window is open, and you have a glass pane slid out of the way on one side. That way airflow can move through. And then you're going to come around. We're going to go to the back of the unit here and go in. So the first thing we're going to look at is, once you get inside, just double check that all your knobs are in the off position. Now this knob here goes to the oven. I do have it in the pilot light position because I already have this lit. So just want to show you here, you'll have that in the off position before you light it or before you turn on any gas. And then off position, come down here and check your fryer, make sure that's in the off position. Again, I do have this lit, so the pilot button is in the on position. but you'll want that in the off position. All right. So once you've verified that, you're going to come right here. This light switch here, this is for the fan, the grease hood. Go ahead and turn that on. When that grease hood is turned on, those two LED lights on the hood come on with it. All right, so besides the noise of the fan running, you'll also have the lights as an indicator that the grease hood is turned on. All right, once you've done all that, then we're ready to go back outside and turn on the gas. All right, we'll demonstrate over here. So the first thing you're going to do is come to your valve on the tank, and you're going to open that and just open that all the way. All right, you want that fully opened. When you do that, on the back of the regulator here, you see the word vent. You just want to make sure that you don't hear any gas hissing out of this or smell an abnormal amount of propane coming from that area. If you do, that indicates there's an issue with the regulator. So at that point, you're going to want to go back to the tank, shut that valve off, contact your local gas company, have them come out and inspect the unit. Okay, but you turn the gas valve on, you don't hear any hissing, you don't smell an abnormal amount. Go on to step 2, which is simply turn that knob up or valve up. Again, in line, the valve is open. Not in line, valve is closed. So when you open this valve, you'll hear an initial whoosh of gas come through here. After you hear that, you should not hear gas continually running through that line. If you do, again, you're going to want to shut this off, shut off your valve, go back inside the unit, make sure that you just didn't bump one of your knobs and accidentally turn it on. Because if you hear gas continuously running through this line, that's an indicator that gas is flowing inside the unit when it shouldn't be. All right. So once you've double checked your knobs, you come back out here, you turn this back on. If you still hear gas continuously running through that, shut it back off, shut the tank off, contact your local gas company, have them come out and service the unit. All right, there potentially is a leak somewhere, and you just want to have that inspected, make sure that everything's good. One potential hazard here is these gas lines. They do run underneath the trailer, so during transport, there is the potential that road debris, rocks, rubber, chunks of wood, whatever could kick up off the road, hit the line, and potentially damage it. So with that being said, that's the indicator you want to look for there, is just hearing gas continuously running through that line. However, you turn on the tank, regulator checks out, you open this, you only hear the initial whoosh of gas. At that point, you're ready to go inside and fire up your appliances. So I'll show you here, we're using our supplied tank. And you can see this one's in line, so we're up and running. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at appliance-wise is the Main Street combination 2-burner 24-inch griddle with oven, the 36-inch wide oven door on here. I'm staying outside because I'm going to show you this right quick. So at the bottom, you just lift that and pull out a little bit. So to light this unit, you're going to set this button to the pilot light there. Push and hold. While you're holding that button in play, you're going to reach down here with a stick lighter, and you're going to light that pilot light. You can see it lit there. Now, if the system has emptied of gas, it could take up to 3 minutes, is what the instructions say, for it to push all the air out and just have gas coming through. So just note that it could take a few minutes to get that to operating. It took me probably 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes on first light, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on and demonstrate the burners working inside there. There you go, you can see the oven burners working. Turn those back off. And then to put this back in place, you just flip it up and lower it, and it's back in place there. All right, and we'll come on inside, take a look at the 2 burners here. So to light these, you're simply going to grab your stick lighter, reach back here, light it there. light it there. All right. Once you've lit those, then at that point, you're ready to cook with it. I'll go ahead and demonstrate these right quick. So there's that one on. And that one on. All right. Now with the griddle, I'm going to tell you right now, I have this flex lighter. This griddle is a little bit more difficult to light simply because with the equipment that I had, because you really need one of the XL lighters where your nozzle is about yay long so that you can light it from the outside, or a stick match, a long stick match would work. But to light the griddle, you're going to leave the knobs in the off position. This, like the burners on the, like the pilot lights on the two burners here, those are free-flowing pilot lights. This has the same free-flowing pilot lights on it. So you're going to stick your stick lighter through here and just all the way back through there to the pilot light, as you can see it burning there, and light that. And then you're going to come to this one, this side, and do the same there. Light that pilot light. And then I'm going to demonstrate these working. You can see the burner on there. And then you can see that burner come on there. Alright. So that's the griddle burners working. Again, I would get one of these stick lighters, but get the XL so that it has the longer nozzle on it here. That way you can reach in there, or use just a long stick match. Alright. And then for the fryer. So this is the Main Street fryer, 50-pound fryer. So you simply just open your door here. Come down here, you're going to leave the knob in the off position. You're going to go to your pilot button there, and where it says on, there's a little dot right there. When you've not been using this, that's going to be the off on the pilot button. It's going to be lined up with that dot. You're going to push that button in, turn it to the left to where the L on pilot is lined up with that dot, and you'll kind of feel it grab right there. When you get to that point, push that pilot button in, hold it. Usually takes about 30 seconds to a minute of holding it. Then you're going to take your stick lighter and you're going to reach up here and you're going to light your pilot light. Alright? While continuing to hold that pilot button in. After about once that pilot light lights and you don't have to hold your stick lighter up there to keep it lit, then you're going to want to count to about 30, maybe 45, and then you can slowly depress or slowly let off that pilot light button. Once you've completely released the button, if your pilot light is still on, then come back down here and turn that pilot light button to the on position like you see it there. Okay? And then I'm going to demonstrate the fryer working. There you go. Alright. And then the baskets for the fryer are sitting over here. They've got some legs for it. We have to make our own legs for it to secure it to the floor so that it doesn't tip. So those are in there. They're wrapped in plastic, and the instruction manual is in there as well, so I didn't want to leave them in there while I have this thing turned on. So that's that. And then I have the screwdriver here just in case we need to adjust any pilot lights. I can show you. You see this little screw right here? That's where you're going to make adjustments to the pilot light on the griddle. And then this pilot light, that adjustment is right there. The two burners, back burner, front burner, and then there's an adjustment down here on the oven as well. That's going to be that screw right there. And so when you're adjusting those, if you turn to the left, lefty-loosey, then you're opening the gas up so they'll have a bigger flame. If you turn it to the right, you're tightening that so it's closing that gas line off so the flame gets smaller there. All right, that's the gas equipment on this unit. Let's talk about the grease hood here. So this unit has a 6-foot grease hood from Larkin, and then you can see the grease filters there. Once every week minimum, at absolute minimum, you're going to want to pull those grease filters out and wash them with warm water and soap, something that'll cut through that grease and get it off. Minimum 1 week, or once a week you'll want to do that. The grease cups, you'll need to monitor those throughout the day. Depending on how much cooking you're doing and how much grease is getting up there, they could fill up multiple times a day, once a day, every other day or a few days. So just monitor those throughout the day as to when you need to empty the grease cups. But periodically you'll want to clean those as you're going along as well. To remove the filters, simply grab it, lift up. You're going to lift it up out of that channel. So I'm trying to reach over stuff here. One hand is not the easiest thing to do, but lift it up, tilt the bottom out, and then lower down. And then to put it back in place, you're going to slot it in at the top. Then push your bottom in and then drop it down into place there. All right. And then with these filters, once you put them back in place, you can see that gap in between the filters there. You want to make sure that that's as tight as you can possibly get it. That's a pretty well closed up gap there, as you can see in the photo or in the video here. Just make sure that gap is as tight as possible. That way it prevents any large amounts of grease from getting in behind the filters and potentially building up and possibly causing a grease fire inside the hood. And then also, while that fan's running, that's sucking air up there at a pretty good rate. So if there was any kind of debris loose that was lightweight, it could get sucked up through a large crack there and potentially damage your fan. So you just want to make sure to avoid that. All right, in behind where you see a tension installer, there are a couple of grease cups in there. Those grease cups are going to mount one right here and then the other one on that side. So you see this post right here running out. That's where the grease is going to drain out. Old style hoods had a trough on the front. These new style hoods that are made by Larkin specifically for the food trailers, that trough is built in here. So the grease flows down and it drains out through here and then through the same post on that end and into those grease cups. So when you clean out when you take your filters out to clean those, you'll want to clean that trough out as well, just to make sure that you get the grease out of there and it doesn't build up inside there. All right, moving on. So this unit has a fire suppression drop here for the two burners, this one here for the griddle, and then this one here for the fryers. And then the fire suppression tank is mounted here at the front. That holds the suppressant, and then here's the control head for the fire suppression unit. So if you needed to activate this fire suppression unit, you do it much like a fire extinguisher. Just grab the pin, give a good firm pull, breaking that seal, and then turn the handle from the set position up to the fired position there to the left. Once you do that, you're going to want to exit the unit. All right. The unit has been professionally installed and signed off on, so you may need to show that to your health inspector as well, but that tag remains in place. And then as part of the fire suppression package, we provide an ABC fire extinguisher, just a good all-around fire extinguisher, and then a Class K fire extinguisher. The Class K fire extinguisher is required in all 50 states in any commercial kitchen, so that is provided as part of the fire suppression package here at SLE. And then last but not least, with the fire suppression package, the last thing we provide also is a carbon monoxide alarm and explosive gas alarm. So this just plugs in. You see plugged in there, you see all 8. It's just kind of getting its bearings there, and it's detecting. So you'll see it go to a 0 here in a moment, showing that it's not detecting any gas. If you have this plugged in and it flashes LB, it'll beep when it does. There's the 0, so no gas detected. If it flashes LB, that tells you that you have a low battery. So if it flashes while we're talking about it here, it's because the battery is right there with the instruction manual. The manual is good to have on hand because it has all the codes that could potentially pop up on the screen here. But the LB just says low battery. It just means it's time for you to change your battery. I keep them out, that way the battery is still good once possession of the unit is taken. And there's the LB right there. Alright, so we'll remove that, don't want to listen to that. And then on the back side of the unit here, if you slide this down, there's extra cord to the plug, so you can push these little notches here out off to the side and remove that plug and have this mounted on the wall wherever, as long as the cord reaches, and then have the cord plugged into the outlet. Alright, and there's a mounting kit in here on the left side, and then the left side of the unit, right side on the video. And then there's also, this is on this side is where the battery plugs in at. Alright, so all pretty self-explanatory, but we provide that as well as part of the fire suppression package here at SLE. Alright, let's take a look at the rest of the equipment inside this trailer. So this trailer is equipped with a 23 cubic foot Avantco refrigerator. See that here. And we'll show you, that's at a nice warm 33 degrees. This lock right here, you can lock the door on the refrigerator while the unit is in transit or not in use. And then here's a look at the inside of the refrigerator there. And so those shelves in the bottom, you can mount those as you want throughout. And then here we have a 24 by 72 stainless steel worktop table with galvanized undershelf in front of the concession window. So it gives you a little bit of counter space or table space to work at down here, and then you can have point of sale or whatever set up however you desire to do on that. Alright, come around over here. We've already taken a look at the gas equipment. Here we have a 24 by 24 worktop table, stainless steel top, galvanized undershelf. And then here we have the Avantco warmer, proofer. I'll flip this on, show you it works. And so you can heat or proof. And then here's your heat settings, your humidity settings there. That just tells you your temperature. And then inside here, you see there's a pan to sit in the bottom. A little metal shelf that goes with it there. And then you can, this holds up to 18 pans inside the unit. Pans are sold separately with that, so there you are on that. And then here we have a 27-inch Avantco sandwich prep with refrigerated bottom. So there's the refrigerator section of it. It does have a temperature gauge on the inside here. So you see that's nice and cool as well. Cutting board on the front. And then you open it up. This is where you'll put your pans for your sandwich prep to hold whatever you're utilizing to go on your food there. All right. Up here in the front, we have the hand wash station on the left. This little switch right next to the hand wash station, that's your water pump switch. So on off, it's in the on position. You'll need that on if you're going to run water. And then we have the 3-bay sink here. 2 doors that go into the V-nose area underneath the sink. See that there. And then I'll demonstrate the water here. Hot side, cold side there on the hand wash sink. And then we'll come over here. Cold side there. Now, real important, when you first start the unit up at the beginning of the day, you want to make sure that your water heater is unplugged and turn on all 4 of your faucet heads there, both hot and cold on each faucet. Turn all of that on, let the water run, make sure it gets all the air out. You're looking for that good consistent flow of water like you see here. If it's spitting and sputtering, let it continue to run until all that air is out of the line. Big reason for that is with hot and cold turned on, it's going to ensure that you fill up the water heater. Once you see that consistent flow of water, that tells you that water heater is full. Now it's safe to plug it in, and you're not going to risk burning up the heating element and destroying that, and then incurring extra cost having to replace that heating element and or potentially the entire water heater unit. So, and then I'll demonstrate the hot side here, and we'll get a temperature reading to show the water heater working. You see it starting at 60 degrees. And it's up to 127. I've seen these run up as high as 140 there, so there you go. All right. Now the light switches for this unit are all right here on the wall next to the sink and beside the entry door on the side. So these are going to turn on your 2 concession window LEDs, the LED at the rear of the unit above the door, and then your interior LED lights. So you have 2 LED strips there and 2 more up here at the front. And then also at the front above the sink we have the upper V-nose shelf and then the lower shelf here. And you can use that for extra storage, however you want to set that up. Dealer's choice on that. At the entry door here we do have the built-in step, which makes it a little easier to step into the unit. And then the entire unit has the rubber coin flooring, aluminum mill walls all throughout the unit, including the ceiling. And then we also have the Coleman Mach heat and air unit. So with this, actually this is just an air unit, I do believe. Turn it on the fan. There's 3 settings for the fan on this. Get around to this side, sorry about that. So you see the 3 settings there for the fan, and then it goes into the AC settings. And then this back knob right here is your temperature knob, so cold all the way around to hotter air. And then this switch and this switch are for the vents. So if you flip that switch toward the outside, that's going to close off this rear vent. And then same thing here, if you flip that to the front, that's going to close off the front vent. My recommendation is you have the rear vent closed, front vent open. That way that air has a chance to flow forward, hit the V-nose, and then circulate back before being sucked out that grease hood. Alright? Just my recommendation, set it up however you like once you purchase the unit. Alright. Let's take a look at the plugs here. We'll go through and just test all of them. 2 lights next to each other. There we go. That one works. That one's good. That one's good. That plug's good. Good. Oh, one more over here. And good. Alright, let's talk shutdown procedures here. So, shutting down at the end of the day, sold a bunch of food, hopefully made a bunch of money. We're ready to shut everything down. So the first thing I'm going to take you through is shutting down the gas. So to shut down the gas, you're simply going to do basically what you did. We're basically going in reverse here. So we're going to come to all the appliances, check and make sure all of our knobs are in the off position. And on the, since this is a manual pilot light, we're going to turn that back to pilot. It's going to kind of hang up. We're going to push in and turn again, and turn that all the way to the off position there. You see that there? And then we're just going to look up here and verify that our pilot light is off. You see it is. So we've shut the fryer off, and then we're just going to check the rest of our knobs. And on the oven, we're going to go ahead and turn that back to the off position. Come down here. That pilot light's still on, so that is free flowing. Alright. That's good to know. Off position, off position, off position. These are free flowing lights as well. So are the griddle. So you can see those pilot lights are still on. So now we'll just go back out outside the unit, and we're simply going to come out here and turn that to the off or closed position, and then come to our tank and shut that off. And since we opened it all the way, we're going to have to close that all the way. Alright, that's done. Now we'll go back in and we're just going to verify, and it may take a minute for Alright, that one is off. Now on these burners here, you can see that's still burning a little bit. So we'll let those just burn themselves out as it pulls the rest of the gas out of the line. Alright, the rest of our shutdown procedures. So it's just basic cleaning up, things of that sort. Here on the back door, we have the sticker here. It tells you some general safety guidelines and procedures, shutdown procedures, startup procedures, and before transit, things you want to check. So shutdown procedures, mostly just dealing with the gas, right? We just want to go through and make sure everything is turned off. Make sure that we turn off our water pump switch. Exterior and interior lighting, and shut and latch any and all doors. Okay, including our concession window. So again, just turn off your water pump. You want to make sure that you detach all your hoses and cords from the unit. Get those stowed away, including the power cord, things of that sort. And then before transit, you just want to make sure that you go around, check all your lug nuts, make sure they're tightened properly. Check the tire pressure on all the wheels or all the tires. Make sure all your blinkers and brake lights and running lights are functioning properly, things of that sort. Alright, so we're going to double check our gas now. That burner, pilot light is off. That pilot light is off. Alright, so now that we've verified that our gas is shut off and all of our pilot lights are turned off, now we can come here and turn off our hood. Alright. So you see the two LED lights on the hood are off. It has gotten quieter in here because the fan's not running, so we're good there. From there, just go about cleaning whatever your routine is for the end of your day. And then the last thing I'm going to recommend here is, before you leave the trailer for good for that day, go into the V-nose and unplug the water heater. All right. If you establish that habit, then that will prevent you from forgetting. If you forget to check and make sure you have that consistent flow of water before turning on the water heater. If it's unplugged, there you are. All right. So I highly recommend that you just unplug that water heater at the end of the day. The beginning of the day, come in, turn your water on, make sure you have that consistent flow, and then plug your water heater in at the beginning of the day. All right. So that's going to do it for the instructional video. Hopefully you at least learned something. If you were entertained, even better. If you're interested in this unit here at SLE or any other unit, or a unit similar to this, maybe with different equipment, since this one's already equipped out, give us a call. We'd be glad to help you out with that. We do custom design these units as well, so we can custom design the layout of it and have it set to your liking. But if you're interested in this unit or any other unit here at SLE, please give us a call. Thank you for your business. Hope you at least learned something. Have a great day.